All right, we're back, folks. Try it again, part two. Kevin, we went out there in the middle of our AJ Ferrari discussion, but just final thoughts, man, on, I guess let's pull up, I guess overall thoughts. AJ was done pretty dirty, and to me, probably has a lawsuit there that he could probably likely file, but at the end of the day, who cares? The only thing we care about, Kevin, right? Where is he going? Where's he going to go now? You put together your percentages up here, and why don't you break these down for us here?
Yeah, so I think that looking at the best possible spot for him would seem to be Michigan. Okay. They don't have a 197 pounder. They need someone to fill in for where Cardenas left, graduated. And I feel like, Bormat would be someone that could, keep a good handle on AJ. And it's a good environment there. And also, they have a great, excellent, RTC program there. So anything he wants to do after is great. I just feel that makes the most sense to me, And then going down the list, I'm thinking Oklahoma. Oklahoma is on a spending spree. They've got actually 8 starters on their team next year are transfers, 8 of them. They've really been putting together a solid lineup. I love it. They're putting some really good interest in the wrestling program, which is awesome. Then I go Northern Colorado. Now, here's why they're not higher. I know that even last year when AJ's list did not look anything like this because, he hadn't proven himself yet. It was Drexel, Bakersfield, and Northern Colorado. I know that Troy Nickerson and him were in talks. The thing is Troy Nickerson is a finalist for that new Army job. There's 3 guys that are the finalists. Scott Green, and then the Navy coach there, the Citadel coach, and then Nickerson. So that puts a wrench in that, whereas I think that if it happens quickly, if they just choose and it's not Nickerson, I think Northern Colorado could be a possibility. Arizona State's been rumored to be in talks with them. Rutgers, like I said, if they had a chance and if it was at the right price, I think they would take him regardless if they got Remy Cotton or not. Then UNC. Now, that might surprise some people, but I feel like something weird is going on. You haven't really heard much from AJ's camp on, bashing UNC or saying, just anything at all, really. And I'm wondering if things are possibly trying to get sorted out. Or maybe he said, listen, guys, if you're going to get rid of me like this, expect a monster lawsuit. Expect something. And maybe Cole's an alumni there. He's got a lot of pull. Maybe he was like, no, we're not doing this, and this isn't right. I don't know. This is all speculation, but
well, I'll tell you, if I was AJ, I would also be quiet because I think right now the best thing for AJ is just to remain silent. One, I feel like North Carolina is kind of right, and I love the fact you have them at 5% because I think it is a real possibility that they backtrack on this and say, yeah, we probably did screw up. We might. AJ doesn't have to say a lawsuit. They know. People are going to tell them that they're probably liable for a lawsuit based on this. That bug will get put in their ear, but maybe not. And AJ doesn't want to then further detriment his reputation based on this. I mean, I think AJ's doing the right thing by staying quiet around this, and I think, something will eventually come out of it. But I love your assessment.
Yeah, it's just kind of stunning, though, that nothing's been said, That's why I feel like something weird's going on there. Then, you got him going back to Bakersfield, but that's going to be at a big discounted rate. Then all of a sudden, AJ's looking at NIL going, okay, now I got to do this all over again, and then I'm only going to get 1 year plus maybe some RTCs. And then now NC State would be absolutely perfect because Fishback is gone at 84, but they have a big gap there, and he could definitely fit in there, and it would be perfect. But I haven't heard anything about it. It's just me going. It's like throwing darts on that one. Same with Illinois. I think Illinois would be a perfect fit for him too. At that weight, they could use him. But those are just 2 programs that I think could use them. But I haven't heard anything about it. So.
Okay, my final thoughts here on AJ. I do say I think Bormet AJ. I would love that collaboration.
Yeah,
I think they would work out.
Right?
I think those 2 personalities would work. So I don't know.
Me too.
I hope you're right, Kevin. I hope you're right, but we'll move on here and let's touch on what the heck is going on. Vito and Jax delayed. What is
Yeah.
happening here? Why is this delayed, Kevin? Is this fair?
So I can't believe the amount of slack he's getting online. I can't even open up links anymore because I'm reading these people's comments and I'm feeling the need to respond.
To defend
And
Vito, your boy.
yeah, listen, man, Vito is tough as nails. Okay, he has slipped disc in his neck. You saw how bad that was at his senior year at NCAA. Is that thing's never going to heal right? And he talking about a guy that in his match for third place at Worlds, he dislocated his finger. They had to jam it back in when he's wrestling a Olympic gold medalist, and then the trainer stabbed him with a pair of scissors when they're putting the bandage on him.
Wait, the Cornell trainer?
No, it wasn't, surprisingly.
Oh, gosh. I was going to say, dude. Toby the Cornell. You know who don't care about none of that, Kevin? You know who don't care about none of that you just said? Jax Forrest. He's young. He didn't have no injuries. Yeah. He's scrapping.
Well, here's the thing, Zach. If Vito wanted to be a total ass about this, right, and he was doing it for gamesmanship, he would have notified them 48 hours before Final X, because that's what he's allowed to do. If you're a medalist at the previous year at the same weight, you can notify them 48 hours before Final X and go, I can't make it. I'm putting a request in for an injury. He could have done that, but he did it with about almost 2 weeks to go, right? Now, here's what I don't like about it. I don't like the fact that you're allowed to do it up to 48 hours beforehand. You know, I mean, these are the rules, like kind of like the don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, these are the rules. If you don't like the rules, that's fine. But I don't like the fact that they can do it. I think that's ridiculous. If you know that if you can't compete a week or two beforehand, you know then you don't need to wait until 2 days beforehand to do it. And I also don't like the fact that the makeup date can be as late as 2 weeks before Worlds.
Ooh, that was going to be
my
next question.
Which that's asinine.
Yeah.
And now I know the makeup date is actually between, it's decided between Zadok, the trainers, the wrestler, and nobody really, I think, would want that to be, because you're not doing anyone a favor by wrestling, a 2 out of 3 2 weeks before Worlds. I mean, you're risking injury, you're risking all sorts of stuff at that point. And ultimately, Zadok wants the best team on the mat possible. So doing that is not the way to go, and I don't think we'll see that. But, man, I don't know. I've been reading so many negative comments about Vito. It's always something with Vito. It's not, man. This kid has been wrestling year round since he's, was in 5th grade, and he just got injured. He had that bad neck injury, and it's just been carrying. It's the same injury, So yeah,
Kevin, is this break going to actually help Vito at all? Does this break help or hurt either of these two individuals? I mean, I assume it should help Vito a little bit, at least.
It's a bummer. It's a huge bummer for Jax for 2 reasons. And that's another thing about Vito, too, though. You don't think Vito would rather wrestle at Final X rather than at some high school gym in Timbuktu, on a Sunday night, which is probably what's going to happen. I feel bad for Jax because this is a high school kid that was going to be at the big dance, Final X, and that's been taken away from him. So I don't like that. I also don't see how this is going to help Vito that much. It's hard to say without knowing the exact details of the injury, but from what I hear, this is just a reoccurring injury. It's going to keep going. And I did see tape of him wrestling Anthony Knox. It looked like it was about a month ago, and he was flying all over the place. So I don't know, man. It's strange,
It's a new injury.
Yeah, it could be, man. It's it sucks too for the fans, Lex. And I was like, and then I saw that, and I was like, that was one of the matches I really want to see, man. And now it's 9 matches for men's freestyle. So I don't like it. I think it sucks. But I don't think, calling out Vito and saying that it's always something, or, he's a pansy or he's afraid of Jax, I don't think that's accurate either. I think the rules should be definitely adjusted. It's already a big advantage to have a guy sit up until Final X That's the advantage, okay? It doesn't need to be anything more than that, okay? As soon as the other guy makes Final X, that should be, boom, these guys are no more advantages. You had the advantage. You had to fight to get to Final X. That's the way I see it. Um,
Yeah.
but we'll see, man. We want the best team on the mat, but if Vito's not going to be healthy ever, who's to say that Jax isn't the best option
Who's
on
to
the
say?
mat? It's hard.
Who's to say,
Hard to
man?
say.
Jax is young. He's healthy. Ron says this is why wrestling has a tough time growing. Transparency. I know. My only complaint, transparency here would be nice. But we got to wait.
Yeah.
And this is one of the most anticipated matchups. But, Kevin, you kind of touched on it, man. And I got to throw your graphic up here. These young bucks who are in these seniors. And
yeah,
this graphic you put up about the pecking order here.
Yeah, this is something I've been dying to get on the air and talk about because I've continued to watch podcasts and they are leaving. They're not going over the right guys, and it's driving me nuts. And I'm in the comment section like, no. So it used to be up until this year, it was the top 3 senior guys got the choice before the U23 guy. Now it's the top 4, which opens up a whole new can of worms. So because of this, there was only 3 weight classes at U23s where they the winner of U23 was automatically the world rep. 86, 97, and 125. Every other weight had 1, 2, sometimes 3 guys in the case of 79 where 3 guys had the choice before U23s. Now this is something that I cannot stand. I cannot stand that these guys wrestle a tournament. And not only do they not know if they're on the team afterwards, but they have to wait till, what is it, June, like the end of June 23rd. They have to wait till June 23rd to know if the guys in front of them accepted the spot. The brackets at U23s, some of them are 150 people. These guys run through that bracket, man. I feel like it deserves at least a wrestle off. And I know this is the best way to get our best team. These guys had the same chance as the senior guys that placed there. I know all that. And I know 10 times out of 10, maybe 9 times out of 10, that the senior guy would win the wrestle off. But I still think it should be settled on the mat and not just by this pecking order, But looking at the pecking order, what makes it interesting, Zach, is there's so many guys that have so many options. Like PJ Duke, if he wins against Yanni, he could literally be at Worlds in all 3 age divisions at once. It's nuts.
Phenom, dude. PJ Duke is. Can he possibly live up to these expectations? I mean, he's doing it thus far, but incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah. Your point is valid. My point to that is, why is it so confusing? Everything is so
nobody
confusing.
knows. It's so ridiculous. I've had to explain it to people, and I feel bad because it's like, it's nuts, And the fun thing that I like is I like going through and being like, all right, what's going on here? And the one point I wanted to touch on with Jax is the thing that sucks about him that I forgot to say is he has the spot at 61 kilograms for U23s if he wants it, right? So he's going to I really do hope that they wrestle that Final X match before June 23rd, because if not, he's not going to know if he's on the senior team or not, and he's not going to know if he wants to take that U23 spot or not, because maybe he just wants to. Maybe he totally plans on it if he doesn't make the senior team, or maybe he, maybe he wants to do both. I doubt it. U23 is not as prestigious as, obviously senior or junior, really, for that matter. But I do like going down the weights and seeing, and this year has been more interesting situations than I've ever seen. 57 kilograms, the first choice is going to be Luke Lillidahl because he's in Final X and he's got he meets the age requirements. If he doesn't accept it, it's actually not the U23 champ, Ziggler. It's actually Nico Provo, who placed 4th at the U.S. Open. And remember, 57 and 61 didn't have a World Team Trials. They had just at the U.S. Open. So Nico Provo would be the second choice. Then it would be the U23 champ, Ziggler. And this is where it gets really interesting, is 61 kilograms, you have Jax that is the first choice. If he doesn't accept it, then you have Marcus Blaze, right? And then if he doesn't accept it, then you have Nick Bouzakis, who won U23s. But the interesting thing is Marcus Blaze actually has the same thing going on with 65 kilograms for U23, only he's got the first choice of that. Now, he can't accept 65 and 61 at U23s, obviously, but he's wrestling Hardy for a true third at Final X. But he's got the first dibs on 65 kilograms U23. My guess and what I've heard is that the Penn State coaches want him to focus on the U20 spot, which he made the U20 team as well. So I don't think he's going to accept either of the U23 spots. I think you're going to see him go U20 and focus on that worlds where he got a bronze last year. Mm-hmm. A side note off of that, I think it's interesting that the coaches want him to focus on U20s because U20 worlds is a decent time before U23. U23 worlds actually runs into the wrestling season. So I've been hearing that Ono might take a red shirt and Blaze
That's what I was going to say. I heard that.
Yeah.
Blaze is going to wrestle. Ono's going to red shirt.
So there you go. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
That didn't see that coming. Ono red shirting.
Best
pound for pound wrestler in the world red shirting. What?
Keep him out of a Japan singlet for 2 years for us, right?
Well, that's interesting.
Thank you, Penn State.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it like that, but yeah.
So
keep going.
So then you got up to 70 kilograms. PJ Duke's got the first choice, and word is that he wants to be on all the world teams he can. If he beats Yanni, it's been said that he wants to go on all three. He wants to pull the Amit Allure there.
I believe that.
And do that. And if he doesn't one last thing. So 65 kilograms, if Blaze doesn't accept it, which I don't think he will, it's not his normal weight. And like I said, with the U20, Vince Cornella will get the spot. He was the U23 champ, and that's a great story, not just because he's my Cornell boy, but he was injured all last year. He goes to U23 and he gets MOW with 7 pins or 7 techs and a pin. So would love to see him do well there. 70 kilograms, you got PJ Duke. And then if he doesn't accept it, you have Josh Edmond, the U23 champ. Moving up to 74, we got first choice will be Mitchell Messenbrink, which he's the heavy favorite to win seniors, having tech David Carr. I think the only way he takes that spot is if he loses to David Carr. I don't see him doing both. He took a bronze last year at U23s. If he doesn't accept it, then you got Marcus's brother, Joey Blaze, who is wrestling for true third at Final X against Jarrett Jacques. So that's awesome. Both Blaze brothers could be on the team. But yeah, Joey looked great. And man, he's going to be at 165 next year. Did you see the size of him?
The way he finished big last year. Yeah, Joey Blaze.
157, and he looked big at 74 kilograms, which is like 163 pounds. He looked big for that weight, so I don't see him making 157 again. But 19 years old, which is nuts. But then 79 kilograms, this is where it gets crazy because you got Levi Haynes as the first choice, then Dean Hamidi, then Simon Ruiz, then Bo Antonona, the U23 champ.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's why Simon Ruiz actually wrestled 86 kilograms at U23s because he knew he couldn't get the pecking order there. And he knew that if Haynes doesn't take it, Hamidi will take it. So he won 86. He ended up losing to Rocco Welsh, who did win U23s, and he does have the U-team spot at U23s. So then after that, you got 92, which I can't. 92 kilograms. Let's see. We got
I just want to shout out Aiden Sinclair at that weight for
yes. So Josh Barr, Aiden Sinclair, and then Gavin Nelson. Aiden Sinclair, man. Woo.
Absolute dog. We almost forgot about him too, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right?
Seriously.
Also, dude, how often have you heard PJ Duke talk?
How what?
PJ Duke. Have you ever heard him talk or give an interview? Really?
Yeah, I've talked to him before too.
You have talked to him?
Yep.
Okay.
I
would love to talk to PJ Duke. I feel like he is silent. I don't think I've ever heard him say a word.
He's the nicest kid you'll ever meet, and you guys know
Really?
I've been talking about this kid since you've known me. I've been following him since 7th grade when he won the New York State title as a 13-year-old by pinning and teching everyone through states. Um, he is he is the nicest, most humble kid, really quiet, really reserved, but he's got that nastiness on the mat. And I'm not talking dirty, illegal nasty. I'm talking just physical. Um,
Well, he looks mean.
he-
If
yeah,
I walk past him, I'd be like, I don't want to mess with that dude. Having no idea that he wrestled, I would just see his look, and you know what I mean?
he's so good that when I went to this New York State tournament to watch when he was a freshman, right? He'd already won as a 7th grade, 8th grade. That was the COVID year, so he was in a bracket where my buddy's kid was in the same bracket, right? And PJ was the number 1 seed, and there was 10 kids in the bracket that were undefeated outside of PJ. It was this bracket was just sick, right? And not only were they undefeated, but like it was every kid was like 35-0 with 30 pins, 5 techs. So I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. Duke just teched and pinned everybody like nothing. He never even made it to the third period. And it's just like, how can you be that good? Like he's just that much better. He's never go a full 6 minutes ever at States or anywhere else in New York. Nobody has lasted 6 minutes with the kid. It's
How
insane.
is that even possible? I don't even.
He's a beast, man. I'm
Genetics.
jealous.
Genetics, folks. DNA.
Oh, I'm jealous
You got
of
some
Penn
good-
State, man. They got a really good kid there, man. He's just gonna do great things, and it's
Looking
he's,
forward to it.
he's one of my favorite wrestlers. It's tough, you know. He's wrestling Yanni. It's a tough thing for me watching
That
my
is tough
two.
for
You
you. Yeah.
know?
Wow.
Yes.
So who are you rooting for, Kevin? If you had to pick one.
Oh, Yanni, man. I gotta go for Yanni. And I think
Well,
Yanni
PJ
will.
Duke's got a long career ahead of him. I think you gotta.
Yeah.
You have to root for just age factor, right? It's like when
Yeah,
you
and I
ask
want-
someone. It's like when you ask a parent, right? Which kid?
Yeah.
If you had to pick one of your kids to die, which one? It's a murderer comes in and he breaks in your house. You got to pick one of your kids to die. And I always ask my parents. They said, I can't pick one. I said, no, the obvious choice. You always pick the oldest one. You had to pick me. I already lived the most life. You pick the oldest kid. That's the obvious answer. So you got to root for Yanni here because you know that PJ Duke's career is going to be maybe
I hope
of legendary status here in the future. But
I'd love to see Duke win a U23 and a U20 gold, and Yanni get the senior. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But Aiden Sinclair, man, this kid, he got second at everything. He got second at the senior U.S. Open, second at the junior U.S. Open, second at the World Team Trials senior, second at the World Team Trials junior. Heartbreaking, man. I mean, I'll tell you what, though.
He's fearless.
I did not have him in the same category as Max McAnally until I watched his series with him. Did you have Aiden Sinclair in that same tier as Max McAnally beforehand?
And Angelo Ferrari? No, not until just recently. Now it's a 3-horse race. That weight class is going to be so fun to watch between Angelo Ferrari, McAnally, and now Aiden Sinclair. Aiden Sinclair, who, I mean, my dad touched on him a couple times, but you kind of forgot about him. You didn't see him. Out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. And then, boom, dude, he comes back in a huge way, dude. And, I mean, you said it. He got second in everything, but the impact's there, and that's going to pay off for him here in the next couple of years.
Absolutely, man. I love these guys like him and Duke that just want to wrestle everything.
Yeah.
How I always was when I was young.
I love this young mentality. They're coming up. They're just scrappers through Jack's Forest. Everyone's just scrapping, dude.
Every week. It's great, man. I love it. It's. Speaking of which, how about freaking Cannon there from Ohio State wrestling 14 matches in one tournament?
Yes.
That's
dude.
Insane.
13-1,
man.
right?
Yeah.
And Gable wrestled that many matches in a whole season or something, right?
Yeah. Gable's averaged 17 matches this season for his last 3 seasons. Crazy. Here's another stat I heard from Willie was Kyle Dake and David Taylor combined wrestled less matches than he did in a 2-year period or some crazy nonsense like that. 1 year, I don't know what it was, but it was something funny.
Wow.
So yeah, I see you got the schedule up there. So Final X coming up next week, and then there's the Hungary ranking series. We missed the first ranking series in Mongolia because we don't know who our team is yet. I wish they would move that back. We would decide our team earlier because it's a huge advantage being able to go to these ranking series tournaments and get yourself a seed. That can matter. But yeah, I don't really see. I don't know.
June
I hope to see a lot of guys.
What we're looking for. Hey, do we know when the? Well, we don't know when the Jack's veto will get rescheduled.
No. I hope it's before June 23rd because he's. It'd be nice for him to be able to have the option to decide if he should go to U23s or not. One little tidbit here. Luke Lillidahl, if he loses to Spencer Lee, which I think that's likely, and he decides to take the U23 spot, he will have a chance to do something that no American male has ever done before, and that's be a gold medalist at U17, U20, and U23. Nobody, only
Luke Lillidahl.
No male has done. What's that?
Luke Lillidahl has that opportunity.
Yeah. Because he's been in 4 world finals in a row. He got U17 silver, U17 gold, U20 silver, U20 gold. He's U20 eligible this year, but he didn't go put his hat in the mix there. So if he loses, I can definitely see him going U23. However, if he's going to start for Penn State, which he will, they told Blaze that they'd rather he focus on U20, so maybe he skips it. He still has, even if he doesn't go this year, he's got 2 more years of U23 that he can go to. The other guy that was in the same boat is Meyer Shapiro. He was originally supposed to go U23 70 kilograms, but he bailed. He didn't do it, but he's still eligible for 2 more years. He could have a chance, too, to do the U17, U20, U23 gold. Nobody's done it. Now, U23s has only been out for about 8 years, I think. So that's kind of why a lot of guys don't have all 3. But yeah, just kind of an interesting
Luke Lillidahl, another youngster looking to make history. But you mentioned Meyer Shapiro. Any news on him? How is Meyer Shapiro doing, Kevin? Have you heard anything?
As pumped as I was to see that he was going to be at 70 kilograms for U23s, and he would have blown through that bracket. I mean, Josh Edmond won the bracket, right? Ethan Fernandez, Cornell's 149-pounder, who Meyer just pummels, lost to Edmond's 7-7 criteria. That was close to match. So Meyer would have won that, and I think he would have won Worlds. However, I didn't really want to see him out in the freestyle mat this year. I'd rather he just got himself all straight, make sure his head's okay. And that's the course they're going to take. He's going to just not do any freestyle this summer. And as long as everything goes good in the regular season, he'll, hit the freestyle scene up next year. And people forget how good he is. He's a 2-time age-level world champ in freestyle.
Yeah, you're right. You hit it, Kevin. People forget how good he was. And you know what? I feel like Meyer's probably going through some mental stuff that for the first time in his life he's gone through. Like, think about being Meyer. Now, we could see Bo Bassett or PJ Duke in the very near future go through the same type of ordeal. If they can't live up to these expectations that we throw on these kids, we're talking about PJ Duke being a 4-time. Well, what happens, dude, when they don't live up to those expectations? Then these kids got to go home and sit in their bedroom by themselves, dude. That's a tough thing, especially at that age. That's a tough thing at my age, at your age. Imagine being these kids. I mean, I can imagine Meyer's been going through some mental fortitude, some mental battles here in the offseason. And I hope he comes out stronger at the end.
Yeah, me too, man. It was tough seeing, the picture. People were like, oh, he's making it up. I saw the pictures of him in the hospital with the tubes in his throat. That was a month before Nationals. And, the way Cornell's set up, you can't, if he missed NCAAs, he just misses a year. There's no redshirting or anything like that. And he's really disappointed in what's been his career so far, getting 3rd and 5th. But I mean, the kid is 51-6 or something, and it's like, dude, everything's fine.
That's but when you gotta just be able to take a step back and think, wait, dude, no, I'm doing great. All anger is based out of expectations, right? In the first place, you probably shouldn't have had those expectations to be a 4-timer, undefeated. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's what leads to disappointment and anger. It's just the wrong expectations. But I'm rooting for the kid, man. I want to see Meyer come back. stronger and better than ever next season. So,
Yeah,
Meyer, if you're listening, I'm rooting for you.
For all the people that are telling me that the rumor I've heard on several forums that he's going 165 next year, stop with that. Stop. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He was going to wrestle 70 kilograms last week. That's 154 pounds, okay? He does not cut weight. It's been noted that he doesn't cut weight. He could have wrestled 149 easily these past 2 years. He walks around at 157, okay? He's never going to wrestle 165. It doesn't make any sense. It's not true. It's just silly. So I just keep hearing that. I'm like, oh God, it's not even close to being true. But yeah, I just want him to get healthy. So hopefully that he does.
All right. Left turn. All right, back on track here. Let's touch on the U17 team. Kevin, touch on that, and then we'll move on. Keegan Bassett.
I mean, yeah, he looks tough, and Sammy Sanchez is a beast. And man, Jaden James, what he did at U20s. This is a kid that made the cadet team. He just went there, right? And he just went at his walk-around weight, 74 kilograms. He made the team at 71 kilograms for cadet. I think a lot of that had to do with his training partner at KD's there is PJ Duke, who's going 70. So I think that's another reason he went 74. But the kid is way young, He's 16 years old, and he was way light, and he still makes it all the way. He wins the challenge tournament, makes it to the best 2 out of 3, and he held his own with D. Lockett for as long as he could. But man, that kid is tough, and Virginia Tech's got to just be like, oh, we had him.
Roby, that's burning him up, dude. I don't understand why these kids. If I was a wrestler, that'd be the place I would go. Virginia Tech. It's just warm down there, dude. And Roby is such a cool dude.
He is awesome. What better recruiting thing is, I even hear it at Cornell, oh, family, not factory. We're all family. How about this? I gave one of my wrestlers' dads a kidney.
A kidney. Yeah, I know.
That's how tight we are here at Virginia Tech.
And he went on the BG and just rolled with the punches as I made him. He
was
didn't
laughing
even know those
at us,
questions. So that dude, Coach Roby, is a true, genuine good dude. And you got warm weather down there. I wonder if AJ could go. Coach Roby, could we make the AJ Ferrari Virginia Tech connection? That would be cool. Right?
Be cool. They got Sasso there though, but yeah, that would be cool.
All right. Well,
I can't believe that I even spent all that time sticking up for AJ. I never thought I'd see myself do that. But man,
listen.
He was not in the wrong this time.
And the other thing I want to say on that is the Miss Soltis and the Iowa new AD. Are they best friends? Are they best friends? What's
here's the
Beth Getz? Beth Getz?
I don't
and
want
Madison Salty's friends. I want to know the answer to that.
I don't want to perceive that I think that any kind of sexual assault or anything like that is ever okay. I will say this with North Carolina, Rob Cole has gotten crapped on a couple times now. The first time he's giving a Flow interview with Bader, and he simply joking around says, they're like, why would you go to North Carolina? He's like, have you seen the girls down here? They clip that out and make it look like it's the only thing he said. Like he was just like, the girls, that's why, no other reason, but he gave a bunch. That's how Rob is. Like he's a ball buster, right?
Kevin, I'll admit I gave him a hard time on that because all I saw was the clip at first. It's amazing what media can do, but
yeah, man, they just took that little chunk out, and next thing you know, everyone's in hysteria down there, and he's just like, "Oh my God!"
But if anyone should be the most livid, it actually should be Rob Cole because he has been the most undermined of anyone involved in this situation. Everyone just basically, this lady, Miss Soltis, just basically exposed that Rob Cole has no power at North Carolina, right?
And you could say it actually happened to him
if I'm him.
You could actually say it happened to him twice because he wasn't necessarily sold on getting AJ at first, but the donors were like, come on, let's do it. So we got him. Then all of a sudden, the administration was like, no. So he's sitting there going, what the heck? Like, seriously? And I'll tell you what, you don't want to piss that man off too much. I know it's his alma mater, But that's why he left Cornell, because the Ivy League pricks were, they canceled the season on him. They canceled NCAA's, but then they canceled the season. And he was like, screw this, I'm out of here. That's the only reason Rob Cole left to go to Stanford. There was no other reason than that. Now, I don't know. I think he still would have left to go to UNC. But, I mean, you got to realize that at that time at Cornell, he had Yanni Vito. He just had coming in Cardenas, Foca, Ramirez. He had a nice setup, And then he went to Stanford, and Cardenas and Provo and what's his face there? Oh, man. That guy, that kid that always dies at the end there, but Gavin Hunter Garvin.
Hunter Garvin.
They all followed Rob Cole to Stanford. So Rob Cole left Chris Ayers there with a freaking bomb team, and then he went to North Carolina, and now he's doing good there. The guy's great recruiter.
I mean, Rob Cole seems like a very level-headed, cool guy. It seems like a guy I'd like to be my coach.
He's awesome.
I feel for AJ. I mean, that could have been a great mentor, a great situation for AJ.
I agree.
Not to
Rob
mention
Cole's the
all
reason
the
I'm a
beautiful
Cornell.
women in North Carolina.
Yeah, careful.
I mean, why do you think Bill Belichick went down there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe that his granddaughter talks to him like that,
I don't know what's going on. I mean, at some point, dude, everyone's like, can I say something about that, Kevin? The Bill Belichick dating the young Jordan. Everyone on all these sports shows, dude, everyone says, well, I don't know. It's not my place to say. It's not. Can I say my place?
Yeah. It's
Hello, Bill. When you become an old man, do you think she is attracted to you for any other reason than your money, Bill? If you think that, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. That's all about your money, dude.
They're both getting something out of
else.
They're both getting something out of the relationship. Did you hear what he bought her mother?
A house?
No. She runs a
business.
A sex toy shop museum.
What?
That's what. Yes.
Oh,
a museum.
My goodness.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Who knows?
We
should stop that before we get into.
Kevin,
let's wrap this up here. Let's move on. we got Chris Cannon. We made this pretty cool
Chris
graphic.
Cannon is on his walker. Dude, I was doing a little deep dive into 7-8 year guys, and it's amazing. These guys that are going in there now. Chris Cannon, I know people are like, oh, we're puzzled why he's got the 7th year. It's legit. I mean, he took with the COVID year and the medical, he's a senior this year. So he does have it. He just is 7 years, The guy who doesn't have it, Sammy Alvarez. And no matter what anyone says to me, he does not have this upcoming year. If they give it to him.
I got Alvarez's stats. Okay, we got Alvarez season summaries. By the fact we're talking about 7 seasons of participating in college is crazy. Crazy.
Think about it. Used to be 3. Used to be 3. Now it's 7. And
oh my goodness.
So hear me out on this, Alvarez. Okay. Looking at this, 2020 was his freshman year, right? Everything's fine. 2021 was his sophomore year. That was the free year. So whatever you came in as 2021, that's what you went into 2022 as. If you came in as a sophomore, you came into 2022 as a sophomore. So he's a sophomore in 2022. He gets a medical shirt that year. So 2023, he's still a sophomore.
3 years of a sophomore.
Hard to understand there. Then 2024, he's a junior. 2025, he's a senior. What are you talking about? 2026, what are you talking about? And a lot of people are saying, well, he only had 2 chances at NCAAs. I don't give a crap if he had 1 chance or 0 chances. It has nothing to do with this. In 2024 and in 2023, the 2 years in question, because remember, 2021, it doesn't matter. That year doesn't count, okay? 2023 and 2024, if he wants to take a medical shirt in 2023, he wrestled in too many matches to qualify for it because he wrestled in 8 dual meets. That's too many matches. It's more than 30%. In 2024, he can't do it because he wrestled as late as January 27th, which is clearly past the midway point of the season. If you go past the midway point, you can't get a medical shirt. So neither one of those 2 years qualify him for a medical shirt. So I don't know what they're doing there. I'm very, very curious to see their explanation of why he is getting an extra year, because I don't see it.
Wow, how about that, dude? Folks, Kevin out here exposing rules. You're probably going to get him canceled. You're going to get him canceled. His whole season canceled, Kevin.
I like him, and I think he did it was awesome seeing him All-American last year. But, dude, you're done.
What's fair is fair. 7 years. Based on these eligibility rules, I still might be enrolled at York College, Pennsylvania. I don't know. I still might have some eligibility left. But
look at this. This is his fourth school. Rutgers.
Fourth school. Been a sophomore 3 years.
Iowa.
I mean, there's people who graduate college, period, with a degree in 3 years, and he was a sophomore. It truly is incredible. But
yeah, Dean Hamidi just graduated. He's 21 years old. Took no red shirt. 4 years in and out. He's 21 years old.
Hey, if you're allowed, keep wrestling, Sammy. Keep going out there and keep wrestling.
And who else we got here on the list, the old man list that I got?
I'll show you the other people you got. All right, we'll take out Now we got Gable 8 years later.
Got Gable there, who came in. He came in at 2018, left at 2025. 8 years.
8 years.
I don't remember the whole like NCAA clock rule. Like once you go in, the clock starts. You got 5 years to finish four season. What? Mm-hmm. Not Gable, man.
Yeah, that rule no longer applies, Kevin. There's new rules. There's new rules. Let's take a look at Michael Beard. By the way, don't say nothing too bad. Michael Beard's dad. Very nice man.
Nothing bad, man. It's just crazy, though. 7 years.
7 years, though. Yeah, that's a long time. I wish I had 7 years eligibility. I might have been able to graduate. Who knows? Let's look at Steven Michik.
Yeah, he's the OG of this. You realize that, right?
Yeah,
he's the OG. He was the original doctor. He was the people are like, what? 7 years, and then who do we got? Yep, there's Michik. Look at that. 8 years. Yep. 8 years.
8
that
years.
Was nuts.
Let's look at Dayton. How about Dayton Fix? Dayton Fix had quite a long career. 7 years there.
7 years for. And you know what's crazy?
Go ahead.
Dayton could have taken a Olympic shirt in 2024 and came back in 2025. He would have been 28 years old, but he could have done it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude.
And then I think we got what?
He could have eligibly wrestled in college as a 28-year-old.
Yeah. Yep. He could have came back
against, like, theoretically, like, what is the youngest possible person that could wrestle? Like, what's the youngest age?
17.
17. That could be an 11-year difference. Wow. Finally, let's look at Austin Gomez.
Yep, Austin Gomez,
7-year career.
Yeah, a lot of people gave him slack about coming back. He's like, if you could, you would. But yeah,
Oh yeah, I would.
He was
100%.
2018, left 2024, and I'm sure there's more, but that was off the top of my head. I thought it was just like, wow, there's quite a handful of guys.
Impressive stuff. Hey. You go to college, folks. You think it's 4 years. It may not be. It might be 8 years. So double the fun.
These guys better have a lot of degrees.
Double the fun, kids. Stay there as long as you can before you have to go to work. That's what I say. But
stay in school,
folks. It's Kevin out there shredding season. Hey, let's check the stats. It's shredding season. Trump and Elon. Kevin, we got NBA Finals tonight, Final X coming up, and Trump and Elon beef going on. I'm hoping America's still holding together right now. I don't know. You never know, folks. But we got – you needed a little break from that, right? You need a little break from that beef. You come on here and get some wrestling talk. And
dude, I love talking wrestling, man. I go a couple of weeks without it, and I'm starting to twitch and stuff, and I'm thinking stats in my head, and I can't wait to get the trivia back. Get that back, man. I'm in.
Trivia's done. It's tested, foolproof. I just got to find time to do it. So again, we're in between studios, folks. We're piecing it together this week, next week, but within 2 weeks we will be back full routine. Back better than ever. So that July 21st Claw Draft live from Atlantic City. You're going to be there with Shane Sparks. We're going to make sure I do whatever it takes to have more energy than him, Kevin. That's just it. I just cannot be out energied.
Pump the caffeine. And if you guys haven't seen Claw yet, give it a chance. Don't go down the negative train, man. Why not be
And where
positive
you at,
about
Raph?
it?
Where you at, Hulk Hogan? Eric Bischoff? Everyone had something to say when I said his name wrong the first time, but now I make fun of him, get a couple jabs, everyone gets all quiet. No, I can't even get any comments out there.
Isn't it crazy how pissed off people get about that? You said his name. They're like losing their minds. It's like,
and by the way, I forgot, Kevin. I had some requests. People want to buy the silly style wrestling shirts. I gotta say, it's all in fun. Izzy, obviously, I've met Izzy Martinez. I have all the respect in the world for Izzy Martinez, but I had to just take all their personalities and just exaggerate them a lot. Like, most. And I mean, that was a layup, Izzy. The silly style wrestling.
That's your thing.
By the way, shout out Graphic.com for getting that shirt made same day. Unbelievable. Out of Frederick, Maryland. Here, I'm gonna put them on the end of the episode.
Where can they get these shirts?
Yeah, Graphic.com. I'm gonna put their graphic up along with the thumbnail, and we'll get this episode shared out there. But yeah, we're piecing it together.
I know you're busy as heck moving and stuff, man. So I appreciate the
folks. You don't even know the wall right above my ceiling. About 3 days ago, I finished. It was open. I had to insulate it and then drywall it and then putty it and then paint it, and then I painted it, and it does not match the rest of the ceiling. So it's driving me nuts. So I'm probably going to have to redo that. But who cares? No one cares, dude. We're here to talk about wrestling, Kevin, and we did. And I appreciate you coming on, man. Kevin's show today, folks. Shout out, Kevin. Incredible graphics, stats, and research. And, hey, until next time, man. Kevin, join us on Facebook page.
Yes.
X,
all
Twitter,
over the place.
Same thing, Instagram. Like and subscribe.
Comment on this, too. Let's talk about things you agree with, disagree with.
Yeah, bring up what you didn't like that we said. I love to hear what you didn't
always
like.
Answer. Always answer.
Where are the RAF supporters? Oh, you RAF supporters.
Yes.
You're awful quiet out there, aren't you? Wow. Hulk Hogan.
Where you at?
Awful quiet. All right. Claw Wrestling, baby. Let's go. And this is BEG Wrestling. Till next time. See ya.
See ya.